Scriptures that have been used to scare you but shouldn't have, part 3. So probably you've heard of the unforgivable or unpardonable sin. And it's connected to the idea of blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, speaking ill of the Holy Spirit. And if you do this, then God is unable, physically incapable of forgiving you. You are forever condemned to hell. But that's not what the passage says at all. First of all, in all 3 passages where this is mentioned, Matthew 12, Luke 12, Mark 3, we completely skip over like the good news gospel part of what Jesus is saying. In each passage, Jesus says, whatever you say against the Son of Man, against Jesus, will be forgiven. Or another version says, all sins will be forgiven humanity, which is like really revolutionarily good news. That like, I want to hear a sermon preached on that much more often. Everything will be forgiven. Second of all, what Jesus is talking about is not what God can and cannot do, but rather what a person will or will not accept. You could translate these verses as whoever blasphemes the Holy Spirit will not allow themselves to be forgiven, cannot let themselves be forgiven. Basically, what Jesus is talking about is a form of self-deception. It's as if God has thrown out a life preserver and you have been lied to, or you are somehow deceived to think that the life preserver will kill you or make you sink to the bottom of the sea. You will not let yourself be rescued or saved or forgiven. It's not that God is unable to forgive you. It's about a state of being unable to accept that forgiveness. The good news about this, though, is that it's not like you have to stay in that state of deception forever. If you are the kind of person who doesn't believe that God will forgive you, you can change your mind. In fact, in the Mark version of this statement, Jesus actually puts a time-limited aspect to it. He uses the word aion, which means to the end of the age. They have committed a blasphemy to the end of the age, which means at some point you can change your mind. You can allow yourself to be forgiven. The late Wesleyan theologian Thomas Oden put it like this: blasphemy against the Spirit, however, is not unforgivable in the sense that God is powerless or unwilling to forgive, in the sense that the sinner is militantly unwilling to receive forgiveness. All that to say, if you're worried that you've committed the unforgivable sin, you haven't. If you want God's forgiveness, it's yours. There's nothing that can separate you from the love or forgiveness of God.